I've tried all kinds of stuff on YouTube to try to be myself, to do music videos, coach videos, anxiety videos, how to overcome fear. And all the advice out there is to always be yourself. And even more than that, I don't really like this whole thing, being yourself, because I don't know what being myself is. But what I do like to hear is when people say, do something that you love, so that you will always want to talk about it. You'll never get bored. I get bored of talking about anxiety. I get tired of making beats that may or may not be like the stuff that kids want to hear today. And that's the dilemma with YouTube and with video. Thankfully, I'm over all the I'm not beautiful and I'm not full of energy, and I'm also through all that stuff about being uncomfortable, being silly. Sometimes I wear silly hats and I have all these props and things that make me happy, because I do those things because I do love them. The thing that I want to talk about, or that I love talking about the most, is about feelings, about emotions, about being an empath in a very harsh world. I don't always feel like I have great wisdom, or that I'm some amazing Christian, or that I'm gonna heal you of your pain or fix all your problems. None of that. Trying to be a creative is very difficult. We're always comparing ourselves to other people, whether it's other YouTube channels or whether it's, in my case, bigger churches, and wanting to be successful. You want to give up, and you do, and then you come back to it because you're creative. I can't help wanting to help other people. I have very little success online or in real life as far as numbers and people following me. But what I do have is my own process of all these things, and how to handle all of the ups and downs, how to be a creative that doesn't have a following. As I think about what I really want to talk about on these videos, that's really it. I want to talk about being an empath, being a feeler, being a lover, as in someone who loves love, who loves beautiful things, who loves harmony, who loves peace, who loves unity. I can get mad about anything, sure. Trump tweets make me mad. Traffic can get me upset. My own imperfections definitely make me mad all the time, but that's really not my goal. That's not really my makeup of being a mad person. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on love. How do I forgive? How do I love the people that hurt me? That really is what makes me happy, is to love others, to love my wife, to love our children, to love my church, to love people. And it seems like love is not valued when you're in a fight. Love is the first thing that goes out the window. People are quick to say, oh, I'm out of here, I quit, I don't like you, I don't agree with these politics or religion or whatever. You're weak. There are people that call me weak because I am vulnerable. Other people love that I'm vulnerable. Like my wife says, it seems like we are the silent majority. Those of us who talk about love and unity. It's easy to get on the news or on social media and hate Trump or love Trump, or hate politics or love politics. It gets an audience. Everybody likes to choose sides. But what about the rest of us? What about the rest of us who choose not to go to the corners, who choose to love one another? Even if we don't succeed or we don't have a bunch of followers, because who wants to talk about love and peace? Nobody does. And yet all of us want that. So as I think of this channel and what to talk about that is really me, I want to talk about love. Especially loving yourself. Loving all parts of yourself. If you deal with anxiety, loving your anxiety. If you deal with depression, loving that part of you. If you deal with shame or fear, discouragement, loving those aspects of yourself. not judging yourself, not wanting to be a type A personality or wanting to be a champion or wanting to win at everything. There are those of us in the world who are empaths, who are the feelers. We make life beautiful. We write songs. We inspire people with our words and our honesty. But when we're broken, it's easy to kick us to the curb. When we're in need, when we're not seeing things clearly, when we get lost, we run away from these tools, from media and from online stuff, or even being in public, because we feel so judged by a world that just wants you to always be on top. That's tiring. That's not human. Maybe we empaths and creatives, we do deal with more melancholy than most. Maybe we're part of that 40% that deal with these things and the other 60% of people don't. We need each other, don't we? It's easy to love us creatives when we're making you laugh or making you feel. But what about when we're broken? When we're stuck? When we're in our own heads? You have to love us regardless of where we're at. And I think that if I can do anything in this channel is to give voice, regardless of age, color, race, language, to those of us who are the creative imperfects, the wounded healers, those who really love people as they are, not as they should be. Do we judge others sometimes? Of course. Do we sometimes get mad and we're in our type A kind of super ego? Yeah. Sometimes we try to be all those things that the world wants us to be, but at the end of the day, you're a creative, you're a feeler. You keep things bottled up inside because of trauma in your childhood, and yet you try to forget all that stuff because there are bills to pay, there are people to inspire, there are jobs to interview for. You have to live in this sensing world that has very little room for us empaths. Everyone's trying to push you along, or they push you to the side. I've done it to others. People do it to me all the time. Especially if you're a person of faith. They want you to, come on, just have more faith and get going. We don't have time for you to be broken, for you to be thinking. And I love personality stuff, whether you are an INTJ or INFJ or any of these creative types who are geniuses. We hide from the world because we judge ourselves so harshly. We're not good enough, young enough, handsome enough, eloquent enough. Second, because the world isn't built for us. Everyone wants us to be on top all the time and always shining and never thinking. And third, because thinking sometimes people look down on it. People don't want you to be a contemplative. They want you to be someone who takes action and who never breaks down, who never stops. Don't you think that the world needs more love? Don't you think that the world needs more of us to show up in the marketplace of social media and to be counted? Not because we have a solution or we have a great idea or because we have a project, but because we actually love people. We want harmony. In the Enneagram, we're those 9s or those other types, who really love harmony. I think I'm a 3, but even in my achieving, which is a 3, or maybe I'm a 4, who knows? I'm one of those. Even in our achieving, it's all a bunch of lies. I don't want to achieve things. I actually want to commune. I want to be forgiven for my mistakes. I want to forgive you for your mistakes. I want to actually love each other, no matter who you are. We don't like it when we're at odds with each other. We love harmony. We love unity. We love peace. And yet this world, it seems like it just loves hate and violence and division and shouting your opinion and telling everyone how you're right and they're wrong. And I know some people will say, oh, come on. You can't just love everyone. There are problems to fix. Absolutely. But how do we fix them? It's through love. Through imperfect love. But yet through unconditional love. If I was to name this channel, I would call it Unconditional Love 101. Because I'm trying to live out unconditional love and I want to teach others to have unconditional love. But it's 101 because this is hard. And trying to be who we really are, people of love, people of grace, people of joy, people of peace. You hear me talk about gozo, and gozo just means joy. But I would say even more than joy, my number one desire is love. Love and grace, forgiveness. I want to be forgiven for all of the mistakes and my character flaws. And I want to also do that to you. I believe that that is what Jesus wants us to do. I believe that is actually what the gospel is all about. It's about love and forgiveness, about grace and second chances and 100 chances. All this other stuff about being strong and being the best and my cause and Trump and politics and all this stuff is really just a distraction to who we really are as people of love and people of peace and people of faith. So let's show up. Let's talk about how we want harmony and how we're struggling to hang on to our ideals of love and peace and grace. How we sometimes feel hopeless ourselves because we're afraid of doing the right thing. We're afraid of being counted. We're afraid of being judged. How we're also always condemning ourselves because we're not meeting the standard that we have for ourselves to love perfectly all the time. Sometimes I get angry and I say dumb things and I'm so selfish and I get sick of myself. But what I do know is that God forgives me and that He wants us to show up and to be present, to be counted in this space. YouTube, Facebook, all these, Instagram, all these places. This channel is about unconditional love 101, the basics, how to love unconditionally. That parent that you can't stand, your girlfriend that broke your heart, your boyfriend that left you, your wife that cheated on you, or your husband that cheated on you. How do you love unconditionally in the reality of life? That's maybe the second thing that I want to offer to you, is to live in the practical world. That's the thing about me. I don't live in the ethereal, like, oh, we're all going to heaven, and one day Jesus will come back, and every tear will be taken away from your eyes. I believe in that, but I still have to face that. I have to go to the doctor and see what he says about my back. I still have to face that I am afraid to failing at life or at my church, or that I feel judged all the time, or we still face the daily grind of life. And so that's my second commitment, is to talk about the practical things and how to love unconditionally yourself and others and God in light of real life. Let's bring ourselves into the world, but let's do it with kindness, with love, with humility, most of all with forgiveness and grace towards ourselves first and foremost, and then towards others. So thanks so much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with 10 of your friends that need to be understood for the lovers that they are, the feelers, the empaths that they are. Hopefully this will encourage them to never give up, to share their stories. So in the comments below, just tell me if you're an empath, if you are a feeler, if you are a creative, if you're one of those people that feels deeply, how do you handle it? How do you manage your feelings? What helps you to kind of control your feelings, to guide your emotions, to move you towards the things that you really want to do? What helps you? What are the tools? What are the videos? What are the resources, verses, songs, spiritual practices, whatever it is? What helps you? And then maybe the second question would be, where do you want to start? What's the avenue through which, or what do you want to do with that love? It's really what I want to say. What do you want to do with that love? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to serve others? Do you want to help the elderly? For me, I want to write music and write. Like, I love writing and I love singing. I also love teaching, doing these videos. What's the thing for you, maybe one or two things that you want to do with that love? It might be that you just want to tell your kids how much you love them. Maybe you want to be the best parent. If you're a younger person, maybe you want to write songs, or you want to go and help the homeless in LA, or you want to travel and love people. What is it that you want to do? What are your dreams? Let's talk about dreams. Let's not put each other down because we're dreamers, because we can't get it right. Guess what? Nobody's getting it right. Some people are just better at talking big than the rest of us are. So let's not do that, but instead let's show up, let's be present, And let's bring our creativity, our emotional and loving and empathetic self into the world. Because I know that this world needs us. It needs our love, it needs our beauty, it needs our peace. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.